Well, hey, I'm not going to have a long BAM session today because of the holidays and everything. I wanted to try to keep it short. Here we are in December. Hopefully, you are strategizing. Some people are actually selling houses right now. We set a record for November for the number of houses that we have sold in November. It was crazy. Couldn't believe it. And we'll probably have people selling houses and closing even in December, which isn't as common because it's a slow month. Everyone's, they're thinking about holidays and everything, but there is still a real estate market. However, if you are a bit slow in December, which I would say December is probably the slowest month of the year, personally, that's been my experience, I would encourage you to consider setting a plan for beginning in January to hit expired listings as hard as you can. And this is just me. If I needed to pick up an extra 10 listings, this is what I would do. And this is what I have done. Now, you don't have to do this throughout the year, but I would at least plan for a blitz at the beginning of January, probably January 2nd. I've done this January 1st, and some people are like, wow, that's really weird that you're working on a holiday. And so it's not necessarily, some people are like, wow, that's impressive that you're working on a holiday. But then there's some people who are like, well, that's weird. You shouldn't be working on a holiday. So January 2nd is probably when you really want to have the best response if you're going to go after expired listings. And I did a little bit of poking around before to show you. I wanted to show you what kind of listings we're going to have, what kind of expired. Here's how you can see what happened last year for expired listings. So if you just want to see that, I would just go to a standard search, and this is Cincinnati MLS. And I've got a few different examples here, but find your MLS. Just go to the search. I would search all of these. Residential, I would look for expired land, multifamily, and commercial. Some of you have wondered how to make a break into commercial real estate. Here you go. This is a good way to do it. Now, see the statuses. I would unclick on active, unclick on coming soon, and I would click on expired, and I would click on canceled. That's the way they classify these in Cincinnati. Each MLS has slightly different wording. So look for the wording the way they do it in your MLS. So we can see what happens around the holidays, I'm going to change this date to this past year on December 31st, 2024. And then I'm going to make it through January 1st. So that is January 1st, 2025, actually. This is last year, okay? Just so you can see what happened. And then I'm going to change this one the same way to December 31st, because December 31st and January 1st are the busiest days of the year for expired listings. Okay, so that I've got those checked. I've got expired, canceled, and then I'm just going to do a search. So when you search these, as you'll see, there are 268 expired listings during that 2-day period. Now, what you can also do is back it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to check all these again. Land, multifamily. Repetition is the key to learning, right? So I'm helping you learn by having to do this over. Okay, so and I want to pick those dates. So I want to pick that at December. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to show the last 10 days of December last year through January 1. Okay, so I'm going to pick December 21st. I'll pick December 21st here as well. I know some of you are so good at this, you're already thinking, Chris, this would be so much easier if you just did it this way. 01, 25, and then I'm going to make this 01, 01, 25. Okay, so you see what I did? This is if you just give it the last 10 days of December, and then let's see what that does. So that gives us 430 expired listings, because a lot of times people will also make them expire like on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, they'll take it up through. So if you do a few days before Christmas through January 1, you are going to have hundreds upon hundreds of expired listings. And this is just this one MLS. I like the way Cincinnati's MLS does it. They're not all quite the same, but I can look at it. Residential, there's 280. Land, there's 83. Multifamily, there's 21. Commercial, there's 46. So if I just wanted to start going after commercial listings, I could just start going after all of these and try to start listing commercial properties. Or investors, here's 21 multifamily units that went expired. Um, and look at the sale price. Like if you sort these by sale, there's a lot of high end properties that you can get. So this is just Cincinnati, okay? If you wanted to go to Dayton, let me see if I have Dayton. So Dayton's a little bit different. It pulls them up a little bit differently. But when I pulled up last year of December 31st to not April, January 1st, there were 1,417 expired listings on those 2 days. Now, here's the thing. If I happen to be a Cincinnati agent or a Dayton agent, I would pull up both of them. I would find the listings. So then you're having a couple thousand listings. And I've done this. In years past, I've gone Cincinnati, Dayton, Northern Kentucky. I've grabbed all those expired listings and just made a blitz on the first week of January. So big emphasis here to really give that a shot. Let me see. I've got Matrix. This is MLS Now. So let me do a search now. The thing about a lot of these MLSs will only let you do one at a time. Like I can do residential, or I can do land, or I can do commercial. So let's just do residential, and I'm going to do a search and see this. It looks a little different, doesn't it? So I would unclick active, unclick under contract, and then I would just do expired. I'm just going to do expired for this. On expired, you want to pick the time range. So I'm going to go back to December last year. This is just so you can see what happened last year. So I'm going to say the 31st through January 1st. Okay. And when I do the results, there's 402 expired listings just on that one day. Okay. So massive opportunity. And this is a great way to begin your work, a great way to begin your year in 2026 with a bunch of listings. But you have to start planning now for that. Like I would buy signs. I would get the subscription to Land Voice. I would come up with scripts that I was going to use Chat GPT. And by script, that means what the heck are you going to say when you get an expired person listing? When you get them on the phone, what are you going to say to them? Make sure you have a plan for that. And by the way, let me put a big, huge caveat here. Please don't call people on the do not call list. If you feel especially tempted to do that, whatever you do, don't do it, but especially don't text them, okay? Because that's how you're going to get into major trouble. And we had $175,000 lawsuit a couple years ago. We had to pay $175,000. So you don't want that. That it takes a dent out of your budget for sure. So stay away from do not call list. And if you go with a subscription like through Land Voice, they will automatically show you which ones are on the do not call list. So you just get rid of those. You can visit them, leave a door hanger on their door, send them a mailing, send them a postcard. You can do all of that. But don't call them. And what that does, my experience is that it knocks off about half of the listings. So if you have 400 expired listings, probably 200 of them are on the do not call list. But guess what? You still have 200 to call. And that's great. And that's why this is a great time of the year to beef up your business, get it really smoking for the year. Start out with a bunch of listings, get 10 listings or whatever you want, 10, 20, or what's that look like for your business? The other thing I like about expired listings is if I buy Zillow leads, I'm paying $50 to $200 for one phone number. If I go after realtor.com leads, or so many of them, I'm paying $100 or more per phone number. On these, you can go to Land Voice and pay $150 or so for a month and get hundreds and hundreds of leads for that. So it's the cheapest leads, and you already know these people want to sell their homes because they've already listed it. So, so the script that I typically use on going after expired listings, realizing that these people have had their home on the market for 5 or 6 months and they haven't sold it. You can come in and you want to be focused on timing, that you can do it quickly and you can do it for top dollar. So what I do is I push a 29-day guaranteed sale program. And we have flyers for this, information for this in the Dropbox and on our Plum Tree Business Center. You can find this information. But a 29-day guaranteed sale program, I guarantee I'll sell it within 29 days or I won't take a commission. Okay. And I've done this for years and years. Never have I done a free listing because the requirements for them to qualify for the program, there's 3 requirements. Number one, they have to have their home professionally inspected and corrected. Number two, they have to have their home professionally staged. And number three, they need to have their home uh, priced according to an average of 3 AVMs, automated valuation measurements. So that would be like Zillow, Realtor.com, and NARRPR.com. So I find those 3 numbers and they have to be pricing it for an average of those 3 AVMs. Okay. So what I've found is I'll get the appointment for the listing and then I'll go to their house. I don't explain the whole program over the phone. I just say, hey, I'd love to stop by. And this is my script. Hey, I saw your house came off the market. I actually specialize in helping people whose homes didn't sell with another realtor. I'd love to stop by maybe sometime today or tomorrow to take a look and we can troubleshoot. I always use that word troubleshoot because that shows there's been trouble. Obviously, something went wrong. So we can troubleshoot it, figure out what went wrong, and come up with a strategic plan for getting it sold quickly. As a matter of fact, I have a 29-day guaranteed sale program, and I'd love to stop by and chat with you about how that works. Would you be interested in selling it within 29 days? Well, I can tell you how to do that. So then I get the appointment and we're sitting down doing the listing presentation and I explain the 3 criteria to qualify for the program. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to spend money. I don't want to pay someone to inspect it before I sell it. I don't want to pay someone to stage it. And that's fine. That's fine. I can probably help you with all that stuff pretty well anyway. I just can't guarantee it will sell in 29 days. But if you do the stuff I tell you, I'll bet you a large pizza we can get it sold very quickly within 29 days. So that's the way I kind of describe it. That's sort of my script. And so your first sale isn't the listing. Your first sale is the listing appointment. Okay. So you want to get them on the phone and you want to be in their kitchen and discuss how this works. Okay. So I would do that. Let me share again the service I use to get phone numbers, and there are several other ones, Vulcan 7, and there's other names. This is the one that I've used. It's called Land Voice, and their products, they have expired listings, they have for sale by owners, neighborhood search, so you can find all the contact information for the people in a neighborhood, including how long they've lived there, what they do for a living, basically the type of jobs they do, how much they owe on their homes, lots of interesting demographic information. You can find pre-foreclosures. These are people who have been, maybe they're 90 days late on their mortgage. You can get a list of those people. You can help people. So that's the beauty of this, is you're actually figuring out ways to help people solve a problem. A lot of these people have a problem. They also have call capture, so you can put signs out. We've got that through Bold Trail, but you can do it through this if you like. Data Genie, no idea what that is. It's all new, but you can research that. Distressed, and then old expireds. I really like this one as well. So once you get through January and you've called hundreds and hundreds of people, you can also get old expireds. And these are the houses that expired in months preceding that month, the previous months. You can find homes, all the ones that expired in October, November, and December. And I've done this over the years as well. Because a lot of times when someone's home expires in October or November, what are they thinking? They're not thinking, oh, I want to list it right away. They're thinking, well, let's wait until January, then we'll rethink it. So okay, hey, it's January. So I go after the old expireds in a similar way. Hey, I saw your home was on the market back in October. It expired. Just wondered, if I could help you find a buyer, would you still be interested in selling? If you got the right price and everything looked good with the offer, would you be willing to sell? So that begins those conversations all over again. So the pricing with Land Voice, so they have, see this monthly, quarterly, annually. I've done it a few different ways. The first year that I did this, I did monthly, and I looked at it and saw, well, that's $150. Back then it was like $100, something like that. And I thought, well, I'm going to try it and see if I can get my $150 back. And so I tried it for 1 month and ended up getting like 10 listings. So I thought, well, okay, that worked. And I always started in January. I always had this December, January idea. And then I started going with the Elite, which gives you a little bit more information. And then I started doing it annually. This shows you the monthly, but then I would do it annually. And here's the way that I think of return on investment, right? So I think, okay, if I'm going to spend, I want Elite, right? I'm going to give it their very best shot. So I'm going to spend $2,000. And the thing I would do this, I would spend this literally on like December 27th or December 28th. And then I got a nice $2,000 write-off for the expense in that year, right? So I had a business expense, and then my credit card didn't come due until mid-January. And so then I already knew if I was going to be able to pay that off. So the way I look at it, okay, this is a $2,000 investment. So with $2,000, can I get my $2,000 back? That's what I'm looking for. And if I get it back and then another $2,000, that's better, right? So that's kind of the way I used to think about the return on investment. But then, you can think, well, I'm only paying this one time for the whole year, 2,000, but I wonder if I can make at least $2,000 a month off of these leads. And, you only have to sell one or two homes and you're getting $5,000 or $10,000. So this was for me the path to success. I love expired and I love for sale by owners because those people have already indicated that they want to sell their home. So that's the path I would take. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. Well, hey, have a wonderful December, everyone. Go out and get ready for January. Start planning. Start coming up with a good strategic plan. Be ready to hit those expired listings and for sale by owners in January. Have a fantastic week. Go build your business. Go make some money.